Good morning, afternoon, or evening, everyone. My name is Elivaras, and welcome to a new series starting on the channel, which is going to be called Thought Process. This is episode 1. On Thought Process, we are going to take a look back on some gameplay and dive deep into the thought processes behind all of the actions I'm doing. What I did right, what I did wrong, and hopefully we can help both myself and you all to do better in the game as a result. So we're going to start off by hopping into some Barley gameplay. So I am commentating on this after the fact. So I'm going to try to say things most of the time. Sometimes I'll need to pause and bring the mouse on the screen and kind of commentate over what's going on here. So we're going to be playing a Mushroom Cave. And I'm going to start off by kind of falling back a bit. I see they have a ricochet, so I'm going to try and not get caught by his bullets. And now I'm going to make sure, because they have a ricochet, obviously he can ping bullets off these walls, so I'm not going to want to climb up along here. Sometimes you can to try and get further, like let's say this wasn't a ricochet, let's say this was a Poco, I could maybe come up along this side and try and do some more damage here, but you do also have to be careful. Even if this wasn't a ricochet, it's very possible if your team isn't pushed up, I should notice that Eddie is here, definitely not pushed up, that if I get over here, it's possible I could get surrounded by both the Brawler here and the Brawler here and get caught out, so I definitely have to be careful of that, even if I wasn't facing a ricochet. So I'm going to drop to low health, I'm going to try and juke around, and I'm going to make sure not to stand there so ricochet can't hit me, and I'm in a pretty secure position at the moment, and I'm going to start chucking some bottles over these walls where I can see their team is clumping up. I'm going to save my super for when I really need it here. There's not really any good opportunities to use it yet. Yes, I probably could have killed Poco with it, but he's already taken enough damage, and I'd kind of blow it just on one person. I'm going to wait for a greater opportunity. We're going to see Bo get taken out there, and there's Ricochet coming back down. Here's where I'm going to go up along the side a bit, and I'm going to try and get some shots in. Now here, Bo comes out of spawn, and Poco's right behind me. I know I'm going to get cut off, so I blow my super on top of the Poco, making sure I can take him out, and thus I can escape without getting cornered and killed. And in the process, I do manage to take his gems. Now I'm going to come up here, and I'm going to try to kill Bo, but he does get saved by a Poco heal. And Eddie gets taken out here. Now this is a very critical moment. You've got to be very, very careful when a whole thing of gems drops out like this. I'm on Barley, a character with very low health. Barley is not one who should be leaping into a pile of gems to try and save them when there are enemy brawlers nearby. What you're going to want to do on someone like Barley is stay back and throw some of your AoE attacks onto the gems to kill whichever of the enemy brawlers are going after them. So that's what I'm going to do here, and you're going to see me do. I'm going to throw up my super on top of those gems, going to kill Bo in the process and make sure and force Ricochet to back up so that he cannot get to those gems. And thus, I let our team respawn, and then they can pick up the gems, and I don't have to worry about diving in there and dying. And now we've just got countdown happening. Piper's a little bit more exposed than I'd like her to be, even though there's not many enemy brawlers nearby. I like to be very, very careful at the end of matches. I don't like to go up in the middle and taunt and stuff, because you never know when a crow or someone's going to land on your face and you're just going to get destroyed. You never know when there's going to be a Piper shot and like a Poco coming out of the bushes at the same time and you're going to get killed. So I prefer to just be as conservative as possible. So here we go. I'm going to be moving up onto the right again. I'm going to be careful. Try not to push too far forward, as they do have a Daryl coming up there. Daryl's going to be very hard to kill as Barley. He's got a lot of health, and he does a ton of damage from close range. So in the meantime, I'm just going to shoot some bottles out. Try and get some damage down. Not going to push up too far. My team is kind of far back and dying, so I'm going to just try and do a little bit of damage and not push out. You can see their Daryl is charging his super up, looking at an opportune moment to try and flank in behind me, and he does do so. And then I'm going to get caught by the Terra super and by her cards and get taken out there. So that's bad news for us. You can see Jesse placing a kind of panic turret. Never what you want to see. Turret's going to get killed almost instantly because we have no pressure in the center. And we see Daryl here pushing up. So this is when I'm going to push forward. to try and help Daryl as he came in from the flank. Problem is, Daryl went in solo where we weren't close enough, and by the time I got over there, he was already dead. Now, this was a big mistake by me. You can see I cast my super down to try on top of the gems to try and stop the Daryl from getting the gems, but I neglected to realize that the Daryl had his super up, and it would be super easy for him to just roll through my super and maybe take 1 tick of damage, and then just get out cleanly with all the gems. So you got to be super careful with that. I should have been more attentive and should have not supered when I saw that Daryl had his super up. You can see the Daryl's very low. Now, this is a tricky situation that you see happens a lot of the time in Smash and Grab if you're down. It's down 7 gems to 2. It's not looking very good for us. And a lot of the time what you'll see is players will just basically go in and suicide to try and kill the person with all the gems. You don't need to do that. In this case, we are holding the center, so we can afford. So they, even though they've got 7, they have to take the center back at some point in order to get gems. So if we can still stay up here and hold the center, they can't complete it regardless of how close they are. So you don't have to suicide in after the gems. You can stay in the center as long as you have control and keep them out, rather than suiciding in and trying to kill whoever has all the gems. And if you can keep them out long enough, pretty soon you'll be the one with 10 gems and they'll be at 7. Now you can see in this case what I'm doing is I'm throwing my bottles on top of the gems. I'm making sure he is not going to risk pushing in on top of that gem. I'm just going to keep using that area denial, make sure he doesn't want to push in after that 1 gem. You can see he's going to, but he turns back because of the acid doing damage to him. We can see he's going to take a decent amount of damage. I'm going to throw my super down because I saw the Tara super come out, and I thought they might dive on top of the gems that our teammate just dropped there, but they did not. You can see this. I didn't necessarily do a lot of damage with my super, but I kept the enemy brawlers off the gems, which is necessary. Otherwise, they would have regained the lead and could have gone and hidden their base. So we can see now the Daryl's at 2,431 health, but I'm not just going to charge in there and barrel in. Our team isn't just going to barrel in and try and kill the Daryl even though he's at low health. We're going to play cautious. It's now 7-7 tied up. We still have control of the center, so if we just play cautious, we don't have to worry about barreling in after there and killing ourselves. We still have control of the center. We can see use my super again to push all the enemy brawlers back into the base. I'm going to do that again here. And the Daryl is super low health, but again, we're not going to push in. We have control of the gem mine. There's no need to suicide. And now we have the 10 gems required. Now here's a good note. So you can see it's 10-7. If you pick up the 10th, or in this case, the last gem out of the gem mine, and it's enough to start your countdown, you can only retreat to your base if the enemy has 7 gems or less. If they have 8 or 9 gems, a gem comes out of the gem mine every 7 seconds, and countdown is 15 seconds. So if they have 8 gems and you have 10 and you've pulled back to your base, they can just sit on the gem mine, collect the last 2 gems, and then tie the game up. So we're pulling back because we have 7, and we know they can't get 3 gems in 15 seconds, as that would require 21 seconds for all 3 gems to pop out. So now we're going to fall back to the base. We can see their Daryl's going to be forced to charge in, and we're going to end up killing him anyways. Or at least that's the hope. But in this case, it doesn't even really matter. He's going to be forced to pull in to try and get after us, and we're going to kill him. And that is going to be the victory on the second match of the day. So now we're going to hop into our third match. I'm not super high trophies on Barley. I play a lot of games solo. I don't do, or I have until I joined the Brawlstars Discord linked on the Brawlstars Reddit. For the most part, like 90% of my playtime has been with random. So I don't put a huge focus on grinding up trophies, only on my very favorite brawlers, which would be Piper, Ricochet, and Brock. So I'm not very high on these on someone like Barley because I haven't put time and focus into grinding him up. So see, I'm gonna come in here. I'm going to try and pick up those gems, or I'm going to try and take out Tara. I kind of made the mistake of pushing up too far and getting surrounded. I had the Tara come up from beneath me, and then the Mortis flank in from the top. Now, Mortis is doing what I wouldn't suggest doing in Smash and Grab, and I've said it before. You don't want Mortis as a gem carrier, because then you're basically fighting 2v3. Now, Mortis is being pretty cautious, or he's being pretty aggressive. He's still going in and doing some damage to us, which is good. But really, you want one or the other. You want either gem carrier or damage. If he's a gem carrier and he's trying to do damage, then he's going to die, lose all his gems, as you're about to see here. Or you would have seen there if I'd actually hit him. I thought that was the time I killed them, but it wasn't. You're going to see that if he dies, he's going to lose all his gems. The problem with if he's strictly a gem carrier, it's basically going to be a 2v3 because he's just going to sit around and you've only got 2 brawlers doing damage on your team instead of 3. So if I was going to have Mortis, I'd only want him as an aggressor and I'd let someone else pick up the gems instead of Mortis. Now we're going to see here, you've noticed Mortis has used all his dashes, and thus I'm going to drop the super on top of his head instead of waiting for reload to finish him off and pick up those gems. We can see the bear chasing Tara back into the base, and unfortunately Arnita is going to get killed. Mortis is going to throw at the bats, bit of a weird play, not really necessary there. He was at full health, it really didn't do much, and we could just heal up. Now Mortis is going to come in, try and be aggressive. I'm not going to blow the super this time because I have teammates nearby and I'm probably not going to get killed after I blew 2 dashes to get to me. You can see now Matt over there in the right healing up, but he's going to get a little bit cornered here. And what we got to be careful about here is the Tara super. If we get too clumped up, Tara could potentially just come in, throw the super down, and we could get destroyed. We can see Tara does have her super ready to use it, but is going to get killed before she can use it, and that's going to start the countdown. And we're going to finish off Shelly in the bottom left. And our Nita might be lagging here. I'm not really sure what happened. She's kind of standing still, then firing, and then standing still again. Could have been lag, could have been she was just standing there because she knew the game was basically already won. And that is going to finish off the game. So yeah, that is going to give us the victory on the 3rd match in a row for the day with randoms. So yeah, that is going to about wrap it up for this first episode of Thought Process. I hope you all enjoyed, I hope you learned a little bit, and I hope my analysis was useful. Definitely sometimes it's useful to kind of get a look back on your game, see what you did well, see what you can continue to do, and see where your mistakes were. In that case, my mistakes were pushing up a little bit too far on the right, getting a little overzealous, and getting cut off and killed as a result. Another mistake, supering down on a Daryl when he had his super up. He can just roll through the gems and pick them up, and my super is basically useless. It was just wasted. And then there was a lot of good things, like making sure I'm throwing my super and my bottles down onto the gems so that the enemy brawlers are discouraged from getting those gems when they're at like 7, 8, 9, 10. When they're at like 7, 8, 9 gems, you want to throw those bottles down on top of the gems and make sure that if the enemy is going to try and grab that last gem, they're going to pay a hefty toll for doing so. So yeah, always nice to sometimes get a look back in your game, see what you did well, see what you could improve on, see where your mistakes were, and remember to not do so in the future. So I hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope you found this video useful. So yeah, I would like to thank you all for watching. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Cheers, guys.